Welcome, moms. Welcome to Inside the Moms Club. I'm your host, Monica Samuels, and I'm here with my co-host and very good friend.
That's right.
And we're still good friends.
We are.
We've been sharing a room together, here at the hotel in Los Angeles.
We made that room a disaster in 24 hours.
Yeah, honestly,
it's pretty messy.
I got to be honest. I don't know how we did that.
I don't either. I just looked at it today and I was like, what's going on in our life that our room looks like this? But I'm okay with it.
I would not want my children to see that room because then they would say that I was, a hypocrite.
Well, I'm kind of an empty nester. So this is my era. So if I don't want to make my bed and I don't want to do anything right now, I'm kind of like really living it because I'm new at this.
Well, I believe it because you should see how she left the bathroom. So yes, she's just giving it all up now that the kids are gone. Although your daughter, who is here in Los Angeles,
she is
aspiring to be an actress.
She is.
Came by the room last night. To visit. So
1 minute we were studying for med school. Next thing I know, she's out here wanting to follow up with all the acting that she has done. So it has kind of come, hopefully it'll come full circle again. So she was little when I started this journey with her.
Yeah.
And I don't really know the right path or what it should be, but I can tell you it is a tough road and you have to be dedicated to it. I used to have to set my alarm clock, Monica, to get up. I wore my pajamas. I'd throw my Ugg slippers on, and I would drive when the show was over to pick her up from this production, Zach Scott Theater in Austin, Texas, where she was in a production. And it was 5 nights, 6 nights a week. So you have to be dedicated with them.
Both your kids,
they were both in the production.
Professional actors with Zach Scott because they were in the Christmas Carol every year.
Yeah,
right?
It's a rock and roll show. Yeah. It's a lot of energy,
and so it's a school night, and your kids are acting.
Oh yeah. So.
What a responsible parent. No,
Thank you.
It's good parenting because that's what they wanted to do, and now your daughter.
Listen, I was big in supporting them. That's what they wanted to do then, and she did some great acting in college.
Yeah.
And so I got to give it to her. She's like, I'm going to move to LA, and I'm going to give this a shot, and I'm full support, 22, 23, 24. Get out there and do all those things, because we know adulting later in life can just be womp. So.
No, I love that she's doing that, because, as you know, when I was a child, I was in the Dallas Theater Center.
This is right. I forgot.
Everyone encouraged me, like, "Oh, you're a really good actress. You should be I'm going to be an actress." And I told my parents I wanted to be an actress.
Listen, I saw you yesterday, and I was like, Lord,
but they weren't happy until I was a lawyer, and then you know how that went. So, yeah. See, now I'm back into it.
Now you're back into it.
Now I'm just enjoying doing these little skits on our TikTok and our Facebook and our Instagram.
Yeah, you crack me up for sure.
So it's fun, but it's fun what I'm doing. But what George is doing is more serious because she's going to acting classes and she's doing all that.
She's in some acting classes, and I think it's totally different now. You're working the reels, and you're doing auditions are always online, and it's not knocking down doors, physically knocking down doors left and right. But it's such a journey, and it's so great to watch her. I just would love to know how to really support her, and maybe something will happen for her. I don't know, but always here to give it a try.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. And I think that it's great they have those classes available for, people that don't have the natural talent that I had that can, no, I'm joking. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's actually very hard, and it is a skill that you have to have. And which is why there are so many reasons I'm thrilled that we have our guest today, because she can enlighten us a little bit about that.
Enlighten.
But also,
I have
she's
learned
a mom,
so much. Yeah.
And I can relate to her too, because we'll tell you all about her. Here, let me tell you about her, and then we can talk further.
Who do we have?
She began her professional career in film and television with a notable role playing Molly O'Connor on NBC's The West Wing. If you remember this correctly, Secret Service agent gave her life. It was very touching. Meant a lot. She can also be seen on HBO's Succession, Paramount's Waco, AMC's Better Call Saul,
all my favorites,
The Night Shift on NBC, and many more. And she's also a highly sought-after acting coach and teacher, married to a Hollywood producer, and she's the mother of 2 sons, which is what we have in common. Please welcome Kimberly Bigsby. Welcome to the Moms Club.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. That was a lovely
Hi.
introduction.
Thank you for joining us. Well, so and there's so much you've such a varied career. So
Right.
you've been a working actress, you've been on all
Yes.
these shows,
hmm
and you're also an acting coach, and you're a very, very well sought after acting coach.
Thank
Now,
you.
you've worked with some great directors. Can you share with our audience like some of your experiences
Yeah,
doing
as a
that?
coach, absolutely.
Yeah.
I came into this industry very similarly to you when you were younger and in the theater, and also your daughter, and you have this love for the thing that you do, and
Yeah.
I'm I was such a theater kid growing up, and being around artists and people who want to be in the theater and wanting to do acting and wanting to kind of put themselves out there, they're such kindred spirits, and you really come to find your people in that process. And so it's not surprising that everybody kind of gets bit by the bug at some point in their life, because it's such a fun and wonderful, very confidence building thing, especially in the beginning when you're in your younger years and you're going to theater camps and to classes and doing shows and things like that. It's wonderful. And then that was just a natural progression into the industry, into Hollywood. And when I went to college in Texas Tech, and I got my
Yeah.
degree in theater and a minor in musical theater. And I loved being on stage, and thought that I was going to move to New York and be on Broadway.
Sure.
And that would be the thing. And I ended up sort of accidentally, I don't want to say accidentally, I ended up booking my first film while I was still in college, and that just turned my world upside down and was like, this is definitely the thing for me. So after graduation, I moved to LA, and after years and years of just kind of going through the journey of being an actor in LA, which it always ebbs and flows in everyone's career. You have super busy years where you have these amazing jobs, and then you have space and time where you're like, I'm never going to act again. Oh my God, this is the last thing. And then
I
all of a
bet.
sudden it sort of ramps up again. And so when I started teaching, I found my home at a studio in Los Angeles, my acting home, after studying at many different studios, which if there are lots of actors out there or aspiring actors out there, I really recommend trying all different kinds of styles and studios, and just kind of finding that place where you can be at home and having that confidence and feeling that safety in being able to work then allows you to kind of really dig into what's going to make you great as an actor. And so I found that at Warner Laughlin Studios in Los Angeles, and I studied there for many years, and then was asked to start teaching, and then I taught there for about 15 years and created a client base. And then after COVID happened and the studio kind of slowed down and the business drastically changed, I just kind of kept rolling forward with my my clients and my students, and then on to the movie sets and on to all of the things that ended up rolling out into the business of coaching that I have now.
So just so our audience understands a little bit how it works, do you get called into a film, like a production, asked to coach and work with the actors because it's not, just to get what the director's looking for, and it might not be, you might be able to convey it better than what's happening on the
Absolutely.
performance they're seeing?
Oftentimes, it's the actor themselves that wants the coach on set.
Ah.
That is something that just to have that sort of support, to have someone, because it takes a village as moms, but also as actors, because you really, you have those people that you surround yourself with, your actors community that you run lines with, you run scenes with, you take classes, you practice, you do all of these things. You can't make a self-tape by yourself. And this is where we are in the industry now, is everything, you're not preparing an audition on your own and then walking and sitting alone in, a room full of 10 other girls that look exactly like you holding the same set of sides to go into the audition. Now it's in your home, and you're lighting it, and you're needing someone to to read the other side of the scene with you, so all actors have kind of that community and those people in their life that help them work on and get themselves together and allow them to be doing the work that they're doing. Even if you're the lead of a show, you're still sitting down and going through your script and reading lines with people and kind of having someone bolster you. There's a lot of coaches in Hollywood. There's a lot of incredibly talented people, and it's basically a support system. So oftentimes the actor themselves will be like, will you come with me? And then other times the director will have actors that they had never worked with before, or maybe are a little bit younger or haven't had a huge resume, or it's a character that everybody really wants to give support and kind of a grounded base for. And so the director will say, I'd like to have a coach on set. And so you'll go and show up. Usually I'll work with them, with those actors who I don't regularly work with. If it's like a new person or I am being invited onto a set, I will have Zoom sessions with those actors leading up to the days, running through all of their scenes, breaking down character, doing all of that stuff. And then when I'm on set, it really all depends on how the director wants to utilize me. I've been on sets where I sit right next to the director at Video Village and go through each scene and kind of help translate whatever is needed within the frame to the actor, and it's very collaborative. And then other sets that I've been on, I'm more in the background and I work with the actor just one-on-one, and they don't necessarily utilize me within those scenes. So it just sort of depends on the set and the project itself, but that's kind of what happens. And then often they'll bring me on if they're doing additional photography on films, and the studio will say, let's get a coach in there to make sure that whatever we are adding to this film or changing these scenes, that we have some support. And so then the studio will bring me in. So it's just sort of, it depends on how it all shakes out.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. And we don't expect you to share any, spill the tea here, but is there ever a moment when you're brought on there and you're like, this actor, you're thinking, whoa, I'm not sure this is going to work, but like,
I mean,
does that ever
it's a
happen?
job. I'm
Or
sure
like,
she's thought that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely all actors, and I think we all have these moments of, I'm just not in it. I'm just not grounded in it. Or they're asking me to do something that I don't understand, or that translation. And so it really becomes that collaborative process of having the director and having the actor there together and sort of breaking that down and working that out. And oftentimes, in those big emotional scenes, or if something just isn't clicking, being able to go in and help sort of load those moments. We like to give everything an emotional reason to exist. And so sometimes you just have to sort of pile on a little bit of extras in those moments so that you can help the actor feel good and present and connected in those moments, and then also understand what the studio and what the director are really needing from that moment. And just being able to be the person in between, because you're there as support and as a resource.
Yeah. You obviously have a fun and interesting but challenging job. And another one that I can think of that's in your life that's very similar is having two sons. So
MOM.
Some of it's got to all come together, because working with actors, working with actors and then working with how old are your sons now? They're 10?
Well, I have my little one just turned 5.
Oh my gosh.
So he's newly 5. I have to get used to saying 5. So he's 5, and then I have an 11-year-old that'll be 12 next month. So they're 7 years apart, and I'm the only girl in the house.
So we know there's no such thing as balance, but you have a husband who has a very busy career. You have a busy career. You have, I'm sure, very active boys running around crazy. So what does that look like in a day?
What does it look like in a day? It's a lot of chaos. But
Good. I'm just glad you're normal. Go ahead. Yeah.
We're a very close family, and we do everything that we can to include the family. So when I am working, my husband takes the reins, and he is the person that's there. And when it's appropriate and okay, they're on set with me, or they at least come and visit. And so they're very used to sort of being within this world. If we have to travel for work, if it's a long period of time, obviously we try to make that move as a family. Now that the kids are really kind of grounded in school, and elementary school has sort of ramped up, and there's friend groups and all of that we take into consideration. And so we do ask them, is this something that you guys want to come and be a part of? Or is it okay that mommy's going to be gone for, this amount of time, or dad's going to be gone for this amount of time? And we don't let more than about a week and a half go by without being present in each other's life. And that just takes juggling and balance, and just being spontaneous as a group in general. We're kind of up for anything, and the boys have learned to be that way as well, as they very much go with the flow, and they love being on set. They love going to Crafty and filling up their bags full of all the snacks.
I'm sure
So
that seems to be a popular thing.
It's definitely a fun experience for them. But when my husband is working, I do my best to be at home. And when I'm working, he does his best to be at home. And so we really try to balance our schedules in that way.
I love the style that you have with that, but you're this acting coach. How much do you use building confidence with your boys? And, you just said, we ask them, you're giving them freedom to, speak their mind. And, so do you think they'll be actors is my first question. Or do you think, how is having all the confidence that you give all these other people, implemented in your boys' lives?
Well, my older one is definitely interested.
Yeah.
But we do have very serious conversations about, because he's been able to be a background actor in some of our projects. And if he's on one of Dad's shows, he might get thrown a line here and there. But it's very kind of just fun for him. And he was able to do that a couple of times. And now is like, well, I want to book a movie and have like a big run. I was like, well, you need to be in classes, and you don't have to be taught by me. You don't have to be coached by me. But if this is something you're interested in, then you need to learn how to do it. It's not something that you just get to. Yes, you have opportunities that are available to you that might not be available to someone else, but that doesn't mean that you're allowed to not do the work. And that's what's important, because especially within this business, if you're not able to kind of keep up with the gymnastics of the craft and constantly being sharp and being in class and taking care of your instrument and really understanding that this is a job and it's not handed to you, then if they're serious about it, we're happy to support them. But at this point, we just want them to be kids, and we want them to be in school and have those relationships and everything. And if you get to go make a movie with mom or dad over the summer, that's just kind of gravy,
Yeah, that's a big bonus.
And are you still acting? Now, I know there was one in Freakier Friday, you were the coach, and you actually, they were so impressed
that was
you got
big
a
this
role.
year.
Yeah, so
that was a really fun and wonderful experience. The Freakier Friday movie, it's doing so well, and I understand why, because there's so much love and so much positivity that just really made that movie sparkle, to be quite honest. I went in as the coach of my very longtime client, Julia Butters. We've been working together for 12 years now. And when she was originally cast, the director, Nisha Ganatra, who is wonderful and incredible, said, who's your coach? I want to have her on set just for cast support, so that we can be able to kind of integrate the body swapping and the physicalities and just the comedy and all of that stuff. And so I happily took the job and was there from day one through rehearsal, going through, how the actors were figuring out, and Nisha was figuring out what we were going to do for these characters to really make those switches and those personalities clear. And then I had the opportunity to read a couple of the characters during the table read. Whenever there's a film, they do a big table read before they start shooting, and all of the actors show up and they do their parts. And it's the first time that the script really comes alive and people get to hear what those lines are going to sound like. And a lot of the films still hadn't been cast. And so they asked me to go in and read all of those characters that hadn't yet been cast. And as we were going through that, at the end of it, Jamie Lee Curtis, who is another unbelievably incredible woman and incredibly inspiring to me and to so many others. She's just such a magical human. Came up to me after and said, she pointed her finger in my face in a very Jamie Lee way and said, "You." And I said, "Oh, Jamie, what is at the other end of that finger? I'm a little nervous."
Yeah.
And she said, "You are really funny, and I think you need to be in this movie. Nisha, let's put her in this movie." And Nisha said,
wow.
"What do you want to play?" And I was like, oh my God, I'm honored. And she said, I want you to go home to this weekend and kind of figure out what we haven't cast. If there's something that you want to play, it's yours, but I want to write you something. Let me figure something out and I'm going to write a scene for you. And then they ended up writing the dance teacher scene, and it was so funny. And I'm so excited because the extended version is coming out on Disney Plus very soon. So please tune in. And
Oh, great.
the extended version has unbelievable scenes. The comedic cast of this film is unbelievable. We have so many returning characters from the original movie. And then also we have these SNL alum characters and just these stand-up comedian, like just unbelievable people to show up and add their comedy and their talent to this. And so watch the extended version.
Oh, we will.
Yeah,
I'm
we
super
absolutely
excited.
will. That's very, very cool.
I'm glad that you spilled the tea on the whole Freakier Friday thing, going from acting coach. I mean, that's a really good day at work, my friend.
It was very wonderful and
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's
and
cool.
just to be able to be there on set from day one to, and we actually filmed my scene on the very last day of production. So it was such a huge celebration. And then, it just was, we all became such a family. And I don't say that lightly because it was just an incredible group of people, and specifically very women led. We had so many wonderful female producers, and just the train being driven by women on this set. We had women camera people and crew, and it was just everyone coming together with their talent and a huge collaboration, and just one of the most respectful and collaborative and positive sets that I've ever been.
It sounds very powerful.
Yeah, it does. Being a mom, how is it like, do you want to continue to do more of the acting or the coaching, or is it like, how do you balance? We've interviewed several actresses on this show and they've been wonderful, but there have been some times when I felt like we need to get out the tissues because they're very conflicted, like the time away from their children. It's a tough job. How do you feel? I mean, would be acting work better for your family, or what you're doing coaching, or both, or do you have the same feeling of, you're kind of conflicted about that, or?
I would conflicted about taking the time away from my
Yeah,
family,
being
or
away
the
from your kids.
the want of being an actor versus being a coach.
Well, really, both. Those are both very good questions. Let's start with the latter one. Do you feel conflicted there?
With being an actor?
Actor, yeah, versus.
Yes. You know what? When I first started coaching, and it's something that brings me such joy and such happiness, and it's something that kept me connected to the thing, because when you're an actor, you're often waiting for the email or waiting for the phone call to ring, to have those auditions, to get those jobs. They can be few and far between. They can feel very stuck together very quick. And so it's a very sort of unstable feeling. And I knew that I wanted to, on the side hustle, if you will, have something that allowed me to stay connected to the fact that I was an actor. And that's what brought me into teaching and coaching. And for a while, I looked at myself and I had the thought of, okay, just don't tell anyone that you're coaching and teaching, because then they're going to think that you're not an actor. And that was the narrative for me for a long time. And I think that that's the narrative for a lot of coaches and a lot of people, of like, don't tell them that I'm also a bartender, or don't tell them that I'm also this, because that means that I don't have the credibility, or I don't have the talent, or it makes it seem like I'm not doing that. And so I just sort of had to have a reckoning with myself and think, this is something that brings me such joy. It's something that I'm confident in, and I feel that I'm a value and an asset to. Why does that have to be my story? If that might be someone else's story of they became a coach and then were no longer seen as an actor. And I just had to sort of put myself out there saying, you know what? That doesn't have to be my story. That story belongs to someone else, and that's okay, but I'm not going to let it be mine. And so I very much go full force as an actor and as a coach, and I'm so grateful to have both sides of those.
Right.
And I'm incredibly grateful in the busy times as a coach and in the busy times as an actor, because I do have those two sides that I'm able to lean on.
Kimberly, you have done so much, and I've seen a lot of your work. You can tell that this brings you joy when you read about you being an acting coach, and then you see yourself in some of my favorite stuff. So that is amazing too. But I would like to know, because you mentioned this is an all-female cast, kind of, or female, a lot of, heavy female in Freakier Friday. Doesn't have to be that film, but because I'm a mom of two very strong daughters, and Georgia does who's my older daughter, stage managing and acting, can cross switch. Do you have a role of a really strong woman that you love, or a movie that that you can mention that would be just a powerhouse, a strong woman role?
A strong woman role of,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. I
Yeah,
love
like maybe one that
watching
you really
women.
worked
The first thing
with
that's
in a
going to come to
movie.
mind right now is the
Yeah.
Barbie movie and Margot
Oh.
Robbie, because she's such a powerhouse of a talent, but also to be able to bring such comedy and such weight to just to comment on the state of the world and the times. And I love that. And the fact that she's owning rights and purchasing rights of films, and she's doing all of these things and really creating her own stories and creating her own space. And she does play next to being incredibly beautiful and the real life Barbie. She's also one of these people that just is very inspiring to me. And honestly, Jamie Lee Curtis as well,
Yeah.
because she's just someone that does it all. We were on set in between takes, and I would hear the phone call that she's making as she's arranging sack lunches for all of the firefighters of the wildfires while we just in between takes. And I'm like, this woman just does everything. And so when I look around and I see all of these incredibly talented women just really stepping up and putting themselves out there and their talents out there, it's really inspiring to just keep going, knowing that there aren't any limits. And so anytime I see a woman sort of on top, I think that is just so inspiring and so important.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know why I like Jamie Lee Curtis is because I saw her say, we need to do concerts at 4 p.m., not 9 p.m., so we can all go to bed by 8:30. And I thought that was really,
Yes.
Well, and I agree. I agree with a lot of the things I've heard her say along those lines. So this is the Moms Club show, and a lot of us moms have, like Julie and I are really good friends. We became friends as moms at school. You have as your older child, I guess the 5-year-old might be in kindergarten. Are they in
he's in
school,
kindergarten.
or are they homeschooled, or how do you? They're in.
They're both in school, yes.
Okay.
They're in separate schools right now. We have a kindergartner and then we have a middle schooler. So they're both entering these new worlds of education.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're loving it. And it's been really fun for me as well to watch them kind of go into these new social environments and these educational environments. And I love nothing more than finding a cool, fun mom that is sort of experiencing the world in the same way that I am.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you have your own little mom's club?
Yeah.
Because that's the way we make a lot of friends. Now, I'm sure you have a lot of friends that you're tight with that are Red Raiders that from the old days. But do you have some mom friends you've now made? Or you bonded together with some other women who are experiencing the same things? And what is that like for you? Because you're in such a cool career.
Yeah.
What are the other moms?
Yes.
Like?
I have an incredible group of women that we actually met at the studio that I was teaching in. And so we're about 15, 16 years into just this deep connection and friendship. And they are who I call when I need an ear, when I need a shoulder to cry on, when I'm thinking that I'm crazy going through all of these life moments, perimenopause and work stuff and relationship stuff and mom stuff, all of those things. And I think it's so important to have those, those women in your life that will hold you up in the moments when you can't hold yourself up.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful to have a group of women. There's about 8 of us. And we have been together through marriages and babies and school and surgeries and losses and all of these things. And they're just my soul sisters. And I wouldn't want to go through life without having that circle and that village.
You pretty much summed it up. We're going to use your clip there for the ad for the Moms Club, because that is exactly what this show is all about, is the connection and the friendships and everything. Yeah. So, well, we have a group of women that want to meet you and ask you some questions. Yeah. And this segment, the Zoomer Mom segment, is now sponsored by Woodloch Resorts, which is the #1 best all-inclusive resort in the U.S. for 2025. It is a super
Where's it located again?
It is in the Poconos.
That's right.
And it's
sure
gorgeous.
is.
It's only 2 hours from Philadelphia or New York Or if you're you and me, we'll just hop on the plane
Yes.
and head
I
on
mean,
up
we
there.
need it. We've been in a sauna for like 4 months in Texas.
That's right.
So
Let's go into a sauna.
let's do a real
Let's
sauna.
pay for a sauna as opposed to just walk outside and be in one. So we're so grateful to Woodlock Resorts for sponsoring our
Yeah.
Zoomer Moms. Welcome, Zoomer Moms. Welcome to the Moms Club.
Hi, guys.
So, ladies, I'm going to introduce each one of you, and I want you to share your name, a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and do you have a question for Kimberly? Let's start with Ruth. Welcome to the Moms Club.
Thank you very much. My name is Ruth Sklar, and I live in Sarasota, Florida. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, and I have 2 kids.
Do you have a
Anyway,
question?
Kimberly, it's such a pleasure to meet you, and such an honor, and so fun, and you're so pretty.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you. It's so nice to meet you
Sure.
too.
Well, thank you. So I grew up with an older sister, almost 7 years older than me, and it wasn't a pretty scene until later on in the adult world. So what about your boys?
oh.
Did they get along?
That's an amazing question.
Good
Yes,
question.
good question.
Yes, it depends on the day, or actually, I should say the hour of the day. They're incredibly cute together when they're playing together, but when they're not in those great moments, they're definitely at each other's throats. And it's very funny because I thought that having that age gap would make the older one very nurturing to his little brother, and we have realized that his job is to make this child resilient and challenged, and all of the things that boys do. But they love each other very much, and they fight and they play, but it's those magic moments when I look over and my older
Yeah.
son Ever is teaching him Taekwondo, and they've got boxing gloves on, and they just find these moments. My little one calls it quality time, and he'll run into the room and say, "Mom, Ever's not giving me quality time,"
Oh,
and he'll
it's
just
cute.
cry. And so then
Yeah.
I'll have to go say, "Ever, you need to give him 15 minutes of your time." And so having those little moments, they have just a really great relationship, but they definitely are bickering and fighting most of the day for sure.
Well, my sons are the same. They have the same gap in years, and they are very, very tight. So
Yeah.
when they grow up, as they grow up, then
We all have that large gap.
It gets to be there. Gabby, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and do you have a question for Kimberly?
Hi,
Hi,
Hi.
Gabby.
So-
You have a question? Tell us a
My
little bit
name
about
is Gab-
yourself.
my name is Gabrielle Caldwell. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and my husband and I are in some ways this dynamic duo. We own a salon and wellness spa. My whole family is in the music industry. I'm the only one that chose to take a different route to see if I could avoid some of the pitfalls of that world and the heartaches of that world. And I just found them in another world, so that's fine.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I was reading about you, I thought, oh, this is so perfect for me because I see you as this woman who clearly enjoys being a mother, and you are married, and you also love what you do. And I am also finding myself in a similar position where I do love to work and I do love to create and participate in that aspect of the world. But I also love being a mom. I have one 5-year-old daughter. And so I'm kind of curious to hear your feedback in terms of you're a little further down this road. What have you found to be the most fruitful or the most fulfilling in terms of the things around work as well as nourishing your home? Because I've had some women who are, in other stages of life older than me saying to me, look, you have time to work, you have time for your career, don't worry about that right now. And I've tried that approach with I missed the work. So I'm just curious, what have you found to be the things that you're like, these have actually been the most fulfilling? And sometimes
Good
it's not
question.
hitting the mark that we think is going to be like, this is really cool that I achieved this, or, you know, but I just love everything you shared today. I've taken so many
Yeah.
notes.
Good,
No.
Thank
good.
you.
Love that. Good question.
Thank you.
Good
No, I
question.
feel the same way. We're definitely very much in the same boat. I adore what I do. It brings me so much just gratitude and satisfaction. But being a mom, there's nothing second to that. It really being present and involved daily in my children's lives are that will outshine any job that I will ever have. But I have struggled with that in being away from them and trying to sort of figure out that balance, mostly because me being away from them just for like a week or two at a time, that's happening more often. Well, at least because I'm not able to bring them with me the way that I was when they were younger and littler.
Right.
And so now this sort of disconnect that I have definitely pulls on my heartstrings all the time. And I make sure I'm the mom that leaves sticky notes on everything. And before I leave, there's little Post-its all over the house within the drawer or in the refrigerator or deep in the pocket of my son's backpack that just they will find and know that I am thinking of them and I want them there, as well as I FaceTime them all the time. They love to see what I'm doing and when I'm on set and things like that. But I think when I come back in town, I always make sure that they have my undivided attention when I am at home. And work stuff happens while they are at school or after they've gone to bed. If I need to answer emails or whatever, I'm not the person who's going to answer your email 30 seconds after you send it to me, because this time with my family and being at home and being present and being a mom is the most important. And so really just finding that time to be a family and to be present. But there's also, I want them to see that I love what I do. I want them to see that I'm working and that I'm out there chasing my dreams, because I want that to be instilled in them. And I want them to understand that doing that is hard, and chasing your dreams and going after things that you want, it's not always pretty, and it's difficult, and there's mud to trudge through in those journeys, but there's also unbelievable elation and fun times and passion, and I want them to find that thing for themselves. And we talk a lot about find that thing that brings you joy. And even if that thing is not the thing that financially sustains you, have the thing that you love to do and allow it to be present in your life, because that's going to be the thing that brings you the joy. And I'm grateful that I get to have that also be something that brings me my financial stability as well, And so just teaching them that, hey, I'm human and this is hard and nothing is perfect, but I'm out here doing it, and I want you to see that. And I want you to be proud of me because I'm so proud of the things that you accomplish. And so just sort of delineating and having those open conversations. And if they miss me or they're mad at me or they don't want me to go, those are all valid conversations to have. And yes, okay. And if there's a job that I need to say no to because I'm going to be missing something important, then I'm going to say no to that job because they are what's important. And so I'm grateful that I'm able to have that balance, at least at this point in my life. And maybe the mountain becomes harder to climb as we go, but we'll kind of see as time goes
I mean, you're teaching them the sacrifice of what it takes to, find the thing that brings you joy. I mean, it's not all easy, and it's hard work. And so,
Well, and
that's really, you should add motivational speaker
yeah,
to
you
your,
should. You really
to
should.
your long
You really
list
should,
of things.
because I'm listening to your answer too, and I love that when you're family time, you're there for your family for real. I mean, there's too many people. Particularly when you said, I'm not going to answer your text like in 5 seconds. You're not going to hear from me just because you texted me. And there's too many families where the whole family's on the phone with other people, and it's like you're not present at all with your family. So no, you should put motivational speaker, add that to your list.
That was really beautiful.
Lorraine, welcome to the Moms Club. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and do you have a question for Kimberly?
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi.
Is Lorraine Howard, and I am a certified professional photographer, and I do destination photography. So I just got home at midnight last night from Nashville, photographing an event, And so I actually was so close to what Gabby was asking you. So I loved your idea with the sticky notes. I've had 99 foster children. I have 2 birth children and 6 adopted. So I've had the gamut of kiddos. So I'm down to just one kiddo who is a senior this year. And so how do you,
That's
like
amazing.
you're on your set and you're coaching, how do you calm that little voice that says you should be somewhere else? Because it's been so hard while I'm traveling and doing what I absolutely love, but still feel like, oh my gosh, it's his last year and he's a senior. And how do you calm that voice in your heart?
It's a great question. First of all, God bless you for providing such a beautiful home for so
Yeah.
many children. And I hope that there are more of you in the world, because that's just
Yes.
such an incredible gift that you're giving to the
Amen.
planet. So thank you.
Absolutely.
And secondly, that voice never shuts up. That voice will never go away. It is constantly in your head. I often FaceTime them or call them or just send a text. My children are not allowed to have phones or devices. My 11-year-old is very upset and trying to negotiate, but we're like, you'll get a phone at 18. We'll see who you are at that point. But I love that now that he's at school, he has an iPad and I can email him. It's the first time we've ever had like communication outside. So what was really fun in this past job, I just got back from Atlanta. I was working on another set, so I was there for a couple of weeks, but I got to email him throughout the day and just say, like, thinking of you, love you. And that was helpful. For me, it was probably rather annoying for him. But I call them and sort of talk to them and want to check in with them more than they want me to, because I would rather them be annoyed that I'm doing that than being like, I haven't talked to mom in 2 days. And so I just kind of sneak moments in between. But the voice never shuts up. I go to bed at night being like, I didn't get to kiss them goodnight.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And that's just something that we have to, as moms, deal with. But there's also one of my best friends, she's a beautiful human and the real motivational speaker. She's an actress named Nikki DeLoach, and she
Oh, yeah.
We love
works
her.
We had her on our
love
show.
a
We
lot.
love
yes,
Nikki.
she's
Oh
kind
my
of the
gosh.
queen of Hallmark, and
Yeah.
she works so much. And I remember having this same conversation with her, and her saying, I had to just let go, because them being able to know that they are loved by other people when I am not there is important. And so to know that my husband, who is amazing, and the fact that he steps in and takes full mom mode on, it's a little messier than how I do it, but he's willing to step in and do that. They have the time with him. They have boys weeks, and now they have all of these things that they do together that like doesn't involve me at all. And yes, I get a little FOMO and I'm a little jealous of like, wait, I want to come. But they're like, no, it's just the boys. And I've come to really love that they have that bond. And whether you have childcare, nannies, or you have babysitters or grandparents or parents that step in to help, having that time and creating relationships outside of just with me, because I want to just suffocate them with my love and time. It's important. It was an important lesson for me to learn. And I was always so grateful for Nikki for being like, no, calm down. They are learning to be loved by other people.
Well,
That's what a best friend to have.
I love it. No, I love
she's a
that. You
strong
know what?
soul.
And I can, now that you've said that you're friends with Nikki DeLoach, I'm not the least bit surprised. She's so upbeat and positive and fun, and you are too. And wow, what
Thank you.
I'm so
a wonderful person.
moved by this. Well, tell us, I can't even believe that our time goes by so fast. Tell us where we can find you on social media and find you.
Yes, my Instagram it's Kimberly Bigsby. And I'm just sort of out in the world. You'll see my name in the credits, hopefully recognize me, send a little bit of encouragement and light my way, and hopefully more of that bubbles up in the future.
Well, we're all big fans now. We're so happy to meet you and see you. And let me share a little bit about what's going on with the Moms Club. We're very excited.
Talk about
We've been doing pop-up events.
We have
all over the country. I just came back from one in Nashville. And I'll tell you what, it was tremendous.
I heard it was on fire.
It
Like
was
you-
on
yeah.
fire. I met so many cool women. And they were engaged in it. They got to connect with one another. I had people come up to me and say, "This is exactly what I needed. I'm so glad I was here."
Who was your speaker?
Our speaker was Betsy Wills, who
Okay.
wrote a book called Your Hidden Genius. And I hope we have her on our show because she does something with aptitude testing and stuff,
Okay.
which is very cool for moms too.
Right.
I mean, it's not just for your kids. But everybody was connected. It was exciting. And, from this, we will hopefully grow chapters all over the country. And we'll look for a chapter in your town sometime.
Yeah,
So
connection
we're
is
excited. We're going
critical.
everywhere.
Every town.
Our next stop is Dallas.
All right.
And we're just going to keep right on going. So we're very excited.
Maybe we'll do Lubbock, Kimberly.
I would love
Yeah,
that.
why? Yeah.
I have
Hook-
a big place in
Following,
my heart.
yes.
Well,
for
hook us
Lubbock,
up
Texas. It's,
with your mom friends there.
a lot of good memories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and we want to thank also today our sponsors. We want to make a special thanks to our Zoomer Mom sponsor, Woodlock Resort.
That's right.
For helping make this episode possible. They've got 67 years of heartfelt hospitality and 3 amazing properties, including one of the top destination spas and family resorts in the U.S. Woodlock is truly where tradition meets tranquility, and you can discover the perfect getaway at woodlock.com. You know what makes the perfect resort stay even better, Julie?
Please tell me. I think I know, but tell me.
It's New Calm.
Yes, we use it all
is
the time.
The New Calm app, and you spell it Nucalm. You can find it in the App Store. It's the #1 stress relief and sleep app. It puts recovery first. We absolutely love it. And if you put Mom's Club in the code at checkout, you get 15% off every month of your subscription. So
That's a goodie.
definitely check out New Calm and get your New Calm app and head on over to the
Listen,
Woodlock,
it helps you
Woodlock
focus
Resort.
and
I
be
have to tell you,
present.
I have used it.
And-
used it. My family uses Newcomb. We've been subscribers for about 2 years now, and for stress and sleep and just well-being, it's a game changer. So,
Love
Yeah.
it.
what a lovely sponsor to have.
Love
That's
it.
great.
Oh, you're just, as we say here on the Moms Club, you're amazing. You sum everything up. I just love you. Thank you for being on this show.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been great. Well, and you can check us out to find a pop-up, talk to us about possible chapters someday in your hometown.
Be a Zoomer
Be
mom.
a Zoomer mom.
Yeah.
We've got all kinds of fun stuff for you out there, Mom. Check us at InsideTheMomsClub.com or on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram at Inside the Moms Club.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. We're all over the place, and we're even going to be a lot more places. So we want to be your best friend too.
Yeah, we're having more
Let's
fun
have
than
a
we know what
bunch
to
of
do
great
with.
friends.
Yeah.
Let's have Kimberly, Nikki. We love Nikki. Let's all
But-
get together.
Yeah.
Let's all
a delight, both of you.
absolutely. Well, Julie, I can't believe. I mean, it's already past. We're done now. I can't even believe it.
It's gone by so
It
fast.
does go by so fast. But we want to also remind our moms out there, what's our motto here on the Moms Club? It's very
Well-
important, ladies, that you remember this. Don't forget it on those times when you're feeling a little stressed and you don't have your New Calm app handy. What is it you have to remember? If you don't laugh sometimes,
You are definitely going to cry.
you're going to cry.
So keep laughing,
Keep
ladies.
laughing, moms, and we'll see you next time inside the Moms Club.